The first time Rowan Hale noticed her, she was standing in the pale gold of early morning, trembling beside a broken-down bus shelter with a paper cup in her hands, and something in her eyes looked like a storm that had never ended. It was the kind of look you only get after losing too much and waking up every day still breathing anyway. Rowan, a single father already late for work and carrying a sleepy child on his back, didn't hesitate. He bought her a hot tea, fixed the loose bench with a wrench from his bag, and gave her his spare scarf without asking a single question, never knowing that this small kindness would one day tear open a past he had buried. If you believe that kindness can change destinies and that people deserve second chances, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Flow, because stories like this are why we're here. Every morning after that, as the city slowly filled with the noise of buses and school bells, Rowan found himself helping the same woman. Her name, he would later learn, was Serena Vale, though at first she never said it. Some days he brought her coffee, other days a warm pastry, and sometimes just a quiet smile. He did it not because he had extra money or time, but because something about her loneliness mirrored his own. Since his wife passed away, his world had shrunk to just him and his 6-year-old son, Ari, and even though he stayed strong for the boy, the ache inside him never truly faded. Serena seemed to understand that pain without a word, and she always looked at him with a strange mix of gratitude and sadness that made him uneasy. As weeks passed, the mornings grew warmer and so did the unspoken connection between them. Serena began waiting for him, standing just a little straighter when she saw Rowan walking down the sidewalk with Ari holding his hand. She sometimes brushed tears from her eyes when Ari laughed, as if the sound stirred something deep inside her. Rowan assumed she was simply someone who had lost too much, just like he had, but the way she studied him, the way she sometimes opened her mouth to speak and then stopped, hinted at something far more complicated. One bright morning, when sunlight spilled across the street and birds sang like they were celebrating a new beginning, Rowan handed Serena a cup of tea as usual. Her hands shook as she took it, and this time she didn't smile. Instead, she looked at him as if he were a stranger and a memory all at once. Her voice came out in a whisper so soft it barely cut through the morning air, telling him he did not remember her. The words struck Rowan like a sudden chill, because there was something in her eyes that felt painfully familiar, even though he couldn't place it. Memories he had locked away began to stir. Years ago, before marriage and fatherhood, Rowan had been a volunteer in a women's shelter after a devastating fire swept through a low-income apartment complex. He remembered a young woman with ash-streaked hair, a burned wrist, and eyes full of quiet terror. He had helped her find medical care, a place to stay, and even a small job, but life moved on and he eventually lost contact with her as his own life changed. Now, standing in front of him, Serena's face began to align with that forgotten memory, and the truth hit him with overwhelming force. Serena's story unfolded without many words. After the fire, she had tried to rebuild her life, but setbacks followed her like shadows. She had searched for Rowan once, hopping to thank him, but he was gone, and so was the only bright moment in a very dark time. Seeing him again by chance years later, she had been too afraid to say anything, afraid that he wouldn't remember or wouldn't care. So she let him help her again and again, reliving the same kindness that once saved her, even as it broke her heart to stay silent. Rowan felt the weight of guilt and wonder crash over him all at once. He had unknowingly become the same quiet hero in her life twice, and now he saw just how much his simple actions had mattered. From that day on, everything began to change. He helped Serena get back on her feet, introducing her to people, finding her work, and reminding her that her life still had value. Ari quickly grew fond of her too, and his innocent joy seemed to heal something broken in both of them. If this story is touching your heart, please take a moment now to like, share, and comment, because your support helps stories of hope and kindness reach more people who need them. As Serena slowly found stability again, the mornings at the bus shelter turned into something beautiful, a quiet symbol of second chances and the power of compassion. Rowan realized that even in his own grief, he had been given a chance to make someone else's world brighter, and in doing so, his own heart began to heal too. Serena, no longer alone, started to smile the way she once did, and the haunted look in her eyes finally softened. Special request: please comment "I believe in kindness" if this story meant something to you. In the end, Rowan understood that sometimes we don't remember the people we save, but they never forget us, and sometimes life gives us the miracle of meeting them again when both hearts are ready to heal.